Are you planning to travel overseas to conduct research, interact with or present your work to colleagues at an overseas university or other location, or lead students on a study abroad experience? If so, then the next 5 minutes are just for you. There are a host of things to arrange as you prepare for your big excursion: passports, visas, airline reservations, hotels, safety plans, and medical considerations, just to name a few. So it's easy to forget one of the first things you really do need to think about: export controls. Export controls are U.S. government laws and regulations designed to protect U.S. technology from getting into the wrong hands, or to impose trade and economic sanctions on certain countries, entities, and individuals. Complying with these regulations is important not only because it's required by law and university policy, but also because violations carry the possibility of significant fines, criminal sanctions, and reputational damage for both you and the University of Illinois. You may be thinking, but I'm not planning to export anything, so why do I care? That's a fair question, so let's look at that more closely. For some principal investigators, the answer is obvious. They know they are conducting research controlled by the International Traffic in Arms Regulations or the Export Administration Regulations, so they will instinctively seek guidance from the university's export compliance officer early in their planning process. They already know an export license may be required to support their travel. If you're not doing any export-controlled research, then how export controls may apply to you depends upon where you are going, who you are dealing with, and what you are taking with you. With regard to where you are going, the U.S. Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, or OFAC, administers and enforces U.S. trade and economic sanctions involving a number of countries identified on their website. You should check OFAC's website to see if the countries you will be traveling to are listed, and if so, contact the Export Compliance Officer for further guidance. In particular, Cuba, Iran, Sudan, Syria, and North Korea are subject to comprehensive sanctions. Even attending a conference in one of these countries without a license could be an export violation, so be sure to contact the Export Compliance Officer, as required by university policy, before you arrange travel to these destinations. Be advised, OFAC can take months to review a license request, and there is no guarantee your request will be approved, so start the process early. With regard to who you are dealing with, OFAC also enforces trade and economic sanctions against certain individuals and entities from targeted countries or who are involved in terrorism or narcotics trafficking. Before presenting your work or collaborating with a colleague overseas, or considering a relationship with a counterpart institution in another country, contact the Illinois Office of Strategic International Partnerships to help you make sure the person or entity you seek an arrangement with is not subject to U.S. sanctions. Finally, with regard to what you are taking with you, be sure any items, equipment, research, or technology you are taking is not subject to export controls. If you travel with a laptop, smartphone, GPS-enabled device, or similar technology, here are some things to remember. The items must be something you use in support of your work, i.e. a tool of your trade. Do not take the items to embargoed countries, i.e. Cuba, Iran, Syria, Sudan, and North Korea. Keep the items under your personal physical control at all times, and be sure you bring the items back to the U.S. with you within 12 months. The following are best practices you can employ if you have to travel with technology. If possible, take only a password-protected device you have swept clean of everything but typical software and minimal data. If your department's IT support professional does not have a clean device you can use during the trip, contact the Export Compliance Officer for options. Avoid taking data with you, and if possible at your destination, remotely access your data securely over the network using the university's Virtual Private Network, or VPN. This may not be permissible in countries where the government prohibits the use of encryption technology. Assume any data you have with you will or may become public or lost. Don't carry research data, medical information, or financial information with you. Have a plan for how to work if your laptop or data is lost or seized on your way to your destination, and absolutely ensure that you have a secure backup of your data stored at home when you travel. That's what you need to know about export controls and international travel in less than 5 minutes. If you have any questions, contact the Export Compliance Officer. You'll find his number and other resource information on the resource page related to this video. Enjoy your trip.